Again. Good. Again. Okay, I think it's time for another break. Well, you've earned it. You know, I did say they'd be less frequent, but that doesn't mean there won't be any. Do you know how long it's been since the last break? It's almost been a year, and you have been training very hard, and it has most definitely been paying off. If you keep things up at this rate, you will be a fantastic champion. Well, it's like I said, the longer you're here, the more infused with energy you will become. And, well, what I neglected to mention is that energy will be permanent. Well, this is why I have been hesitant to train humans. Because an ambitious person with unlimited energy can accomplish much, for good or for ill. And there have been cases where people have taken advantage of what I offer, and I have regretted it. Without giving away too much, let me just say that there are fail-safes, things I have put in place just in case someone I am training decides to use what I offer in a way that I wholeheartedly cannot accept. Well, there's no need to get upset. Based on the interactions we have had, I very much am confident you will not be one of them. Hell, you went through so much just to come and find me, and even though you were running late, you took the opportunity to put yourself in danger to help your family. Right. And admittedly, it did not go exactly how you had planned, but, well, it still can. You know, I never did ask why exactly you were after this orb. You said it was an heirloom. You thought it was a paperweight. But why exactly are you going through so much for a paperweight? Or at least for what you believed to be a paperweight? And that right there, that makes all the difference. Because you're not doing it for yourself. You're not doing it out of selfish desire. You're doing it for someone you care about. And that is what makes a fantastic champion. Someone willing to put themselves at risk to help another. Well, it is a little bit different. You know, I told you before, the swords and arrows of bandits are not exactly a threat to me. But to you, they will be. You will be putting yourself in grave danger over and over to earn an heirloom. You know that now. Yes, you did not know that before. And that, well, it ties back into what I was saying. This powerful ancient artifact, it can't be trusted in the hands of most. But maybe, just maybe, it can be trusted to you. No, no one would be so foolish. No one in 300 years has tried to steal anything from my hoard. Because of the magic I have learned. You know, I did not go into great depth, but I have traveled between multiple different realities, and I have gathered artifacts from all of them. Well, there's much I hesitate to say. Some things are best kept unsaid, because things can be spoken into existence. When you have a degree of power beyond mortal comprehension, you have to be careful what you even think. There are beings out there who will think objects and realities into existence, and they are not always the best. This orb is one of them. It was not created by hand. It was not enchanted by man or elf or any other race that exists in this world. It was created because a being of tremendous and deadly power imagined it into existence, imagined it as a paperweight in a very unsuspecting home. And should it fall into the wrong hands, the results would be catastrophic. So I found it, and I have kept it safe, and I am willing to release it to its... Is it even the rightful owner, if it was thought into existence by a being beyond your understanding? I wouldn't say owner. I would say original caretaker. This orb, it holds a great many secrets. Well, that's why I speak so cryptically about it. I will never teach you how to use it. I will never fully explain to you what it is capable of, because some things are better lost to time. But I have made a deal with you. You were very, very certain that this deal is one you wanted to make as well. Very insistent, even. And I will uphold it. And your training has been going so well. I have no doubts. As long as things continue the way they have, you will be the perfect caretaker for this powerful artifact. Oh, you've noticed, have you? Well, you have been developing very well, and it's my nature to enjoy and desire things of power and wealth. You are not the simple farmer who walked into my cave. It's been a year in here, but remember, it's only been about a minute since we entered here, from the outside at least. In only a minute's time, my power has given you the opportunity to develop your own power. And, well, there are still 4 more years of training. And if all of this has been done in only one, can you imagine how much things will change in the next few? It will be unbelievable the amount of progress you will have made. Because among the many talents I possess, viewing potential futures is one of them. And the longer you train here, the more certain your future becomes, the more possible failures fall away and fade into non-existence. You, through your training, are proving to be potentially the greatest champion I have ever trained. And that alone is reason enough to trust you. Granted, there is still every chance that these other realities which have not yet faded could come to pass, but I don't believe they will. There is one in particular I find very appealing. A future where you accomplish your goals, where you do receive this orb, where you keep it safe, and a future where you and I become more than just a dragon who trained you. But therein lies the secret. Because if I say too much, I risk influencing which timeline becomes reality. And that is a burden I must bear. I will say this much. If you continue on the path you are on, you will very much enjoy the life ahead of you. We both will. In more ways than you could expect. Consider it a secret for now. But I will promise you something. I will make it very clear if the direction you are heading is reinforcing that. When the time is right. At the moment, there is still much training to undergo. Still many possible futures that could become reality, where things do not go as fantastic for the both of us. You know, I suppose it doesn't hurt to at least give you a few examples. There is one future where you betray my trust, where you take the orb for yourself and use it to destroy me and everything I have created. Everything I have done would be undone. You say that. You say you would never, and maybe that is true, but the possibility is there. That one has not faded away. And on the other hand, there are possible futures where you fail your training, and where you are disappointed and return home empty-handed, and you never speak of me again. You never have anything to do with me again. Because there is a wide range in the way life can unfold. And I have learned not to interfere. Oh, I'm not. You see, here's the thing. When your training is complete and when we leave this chamber, you will remember your training, but you will not remember the specifics of every conversation we've had. And that is intentional. Some things in here, some of the magic at play, it does not belong in our world. It must be kept secret. It must be kept separate. From the perspective of your family, of your village, I am among the most powerful beings in existence. And that was even before you knew about my ability to travel to different worlds. But I will tell you this. I am far from being among the most powerful beings. I cannot think orbs of tremendous and horrible power into existence. I cannot shape worlds into the nothingness of the void and create life where there was none. There are beings far beyond me, and they have rules I must obey. Just as I am training you, I was also trained. I didn't gather all of this power purely on my own. It makes a better story when people believe that I did. But that's not how it works. No one ever improves themselves so significantly on their own. Whether it's someone specifically training you or friends and family encouraging and supporting you. No one accomplishes something noteworthy without the support of others. I am your support, and I will train you to the best of my ability, but you will not retain all of these secrets once you leave. You will not remember about these beings beyond me, because you cannot, because that knowledge cannot exist in our world. It is kept separate. Even when I leave this chamber, I will forget this, because even I cannot know. There are secrets that must be locked away, that cannot be allowed to exist. This is one of them. When we return, I will wholeheartedly, genuinely believe all of my power was my own doing. But that is not the case. And you will wholeheartedly believe all of your power is your own doing. And that will also not be the case. You will have unlimited, unrivaled amounts of energy. And that is because of my influence. But you will not believe that. You will believe it is your own accomplishment. And champions with that belief, well, they grow to resent me. Or at least they might. That is why so many turn against me, so many humans, specifically, because it is their belief that they didn't need me. And it's untrue, but it is what they believe. It is their reality, and I have no right to change that. If you wish, we can abandon our deal, and you can return home. I can even reset things to before you enter this chamber. You won't have to worry about having been tricked into anything. And if that is the case, you will not get your heirloom. You will return home empty-handed and believe that you had failed, when the reality is well, I suppose you did fail, because you did not keep your end of the bargain. And that would count as failure. I don't think that's what you want. Listen, when time manipulation is taken into account, things get extremely complicated. I will not make any decisions for you. I will make recommendations, and I will train you to the best of my ability, using the full scope of my knowledge that is only available here in this chamber. But I will not force you to do anything. I will request that before you make any such decision, you give it a few days of consideration. I mean a few days in here, not once the training is complete. If you do decide this is not for you, I understand. I do think you would prefer the future I see. The future where you and I have more in common than a simple partnership, a simple mentor and trainee relationship. There is so much more that could be had between the two of us. And I will confess I do very much hope that is the future we see. But I will not make it so. That much is on you, and your willingness and your desires. In the meantime, I am going to get some rest. Because it reshapes itself. I cannot affect reality in the world we both inhabit. But here, in my private dimension, my private chamber, I can reshape things however I wish. Well, that is why you are being infused with my energy. By simply being here, you are being reshaped. Not in a way that changes the core of who you are, but in a way that enhances who you are and enhances what you're able to do. And you are now fully aware of this. And if you desire so, I will undo it and release you from your deal. You know, I had a feeling you would say that. Well, of course, it's one of the realities I saw. But I see many of them. So many of them. And it is impossible to tell which will be and which will not. Well, just as many fade away with each decision you make, many more fade into existence in response. There is no way to be certain which future will be until it is. I do know that I have been very impressed by you. Your training has gone far better than I expected. Definitely in the greatest of possible outcomes. Well, there was one where you were thrown out of here after training for only a few days. Because you could not adapt. Because your body rejected the energy being offered you. That did not happen. There was another where you tried to kill me in my sleep and take the power for yourself. And that did not happen. Well, of course it would not be successful. Even if I'm sleeping here, this entire reality is mine to command. This body you see that I'm currently in is not real. This entire thing is, well, think of it like a dream. My dream that we are both in. You cannot kill the dreamer in their own dream. You can try, and in some versions of reality you did try. But those were so few and far between, and they faded out so quickly. And this is why I believe I can trust you. The way timelines adjust in response to the way you act. You are not a creature of malice. You never have been. The possibility is there, and it always will be. But you do not seem the type to seize it. This is why I seized the opportunity to train you. Because even before I made that deal, I saw some of these timelines. A few. A few glimpses. Well, I will tell you this one last thing before I catch my nap. You stand to be the most influential human who has ever lived, depending entirely on the decisions you make. And I am fully behind training you to be the greatest version of yourself you can be, even giving you some of my own power and energy to do it. Because I do not believe I will regret it. In fact, I believe we will both very much enjoy the future ahead of us, together. Now, you can think on that, and make whatever decision feels right for you. I'm going to get my shut-eye and get some rest, and oh, it's not that I need it. Not at all. I just want to give you the opportunity to reflect on things without feeling like I'm watching you over your shoulder. So, I will give you your privacy. And I will warn you, this may be the last break you have before we're finished. You've been adapting to the energy here extremely well. I don't think you'll need another break. We will see. Now you think on what I've said, and I will see you very soon. Hello, everyone. Star here, and thank you for listening to this video, audio, vadio kind of thing. So, this is the third part of our Dragon Queen, and things are progressing pretty well, I think. We've got some major lore drops and implications in this one. So, I don't know how many of you know about D&D and know about beholders, but it is a fact that these beings from beyond mortal realms can think things into existence. And I'm not saying that this orb of Azrakanal is created by a beholder, but it's created by something similar, right? Some far-off, ancient, and alien consciousness that exists beyond the realms of human understanding, or dragon understanding in this case. So, I'm not too sure where exactly to take that, because, I mean, once you add in extra-dimensional threats and things, I mean, honestly, anything can happen. You could wake up in Alice in Wonderland or something, you know? And I don't want to do that, because that doesn't feel right for how the story's gone. But I do like having this, something can come out of left field for no reason, without warning, and you gotta deal with it kind of implication. I watched a lot of Stranger Things, and before they identified what was happening, it really seemed like shit was just going wild for no reason, you know? And so that's kind of the idea I'm getting at, where at some point, because honestly I see this series going beyond a fourth part, because it's fun. But, I mean, maybe not, but I would like it to. And if it does, there's going to be a lot of play. A lot of things going on that I probably haven't even thought of yet, because this is all improv and I'm making it up as I go. But there's definitely going to be a lot of plot twists in the future. We already have this theoretical private dimensional chamber where knowledge has to be secured away because it can't exist on the mortal realm. And the idea behind that is simply because if someone's going to be reading your mind, you don't want them finding out these eldritch secrets or whatever, you know? So that's kind of what I'm looking at, kind of what I'm thinking of. Go ahead and, if you want to, let me know what you think about that. I think it's cool. I think it's fun. I haven't even really done an eldritch kind of anything at all yet. So, I mean, hell, maybe our dragon turns out to be, oh, I'm not actually a dragon. I'm, I don't know, Cthulhu in dragon form or something, and I just locked away that from my own brain. I don't know. I don't. But there's a lot of potential. And, I mean, as a storyteller, that's exciting to me to have all this potential to figure out where I want to take the story. So, thank you for listening as I rambled on and on and on. I think several minutes in this outro now. You know, I've noticed a lot of my recordings have been getting longer and longer in time, and I'm actually loving it. And it adds a lot to the editing process, but I feel the end result is a lot more fun. And I don't mean this to sound offensive to anyone, because I know other people have their own goals and their own abilities and their own time. You know, not everyone can sit down and record for as long as I can during the day. But I've had a few videos that were, 10 minutes, and I try to aim for higher than that. I try to aim for what could be potentially, a full episode on TV. 20 plus minutes of just story before we get to the outro. And I've been reliably hitting that for a while. And it's very satisfying. And I love it very much. And I love that you all like it so much that you continue watching these, even as they get a little lengthier. Thank you. Thank you so much for appreciating what I'm putting so much time and effort into. It means so much. It really does. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Mwah.